Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle rant. Today I want to talk about the bodybuilding lifestyle, I call it. That's right. The bodybuilding lifestyle that we all live can be applied to anything in life. It could help you get through any obstacle, any medical issue, any breakup that you might have with a wife or husband. If you have to go through some bad times, you have to go to prison, you have to do anything that does not sit well with you, anything that disrupts your life can be overcome by applying what I call the bodybuilding lifestyle. And that's how I've gotten through a lot of adversity in my life. A lot of people say, Dave, how come you always have a smile on your face? How come you can get through things and you don't let them affect you? You don't get depressed. Look, we all get depressed. That's, there's no way to go about that, but it should be a very fleeting moment. It should not be something that you're living 24/7. I went through a very serious cardiac surgery, obviously. They had to open my chest up, even though it was a partial sternotomy, and they had to go in there and they had to cut out part of my aorta, which is the main artery coming off your heart, and they had to replace it because I had an enlarged aorta. Now that's a serious surgery because anytime they have to open your chest up and they have to stop your heart to work on it, they have to put you on a heart-lung machine, which diverts the blood to your other organs and your brain, and allows the doctors to work on your heart. And when you wake up from that type of surgery, everything is out of whack. You retain tons of fluid, you're in pain, there's innumerable things to go through. And a lot of people are very intimidated by the whole process. I wasn't looking forward to going and getting it done. I know I needed it done because I didn't want to die, at some point in the near future, but I wasn't looking forward to it. But what I did was I applied the bodybuilding lifestyle to the process. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when going into the hospital, you have no control over anything when you first go in there. And you know what the truth is? Thank God. I'm not involved in the surgery. I'm not doing it. I'm asleep. So when you go in, before you go in there, you have to surrender to the whole process. That's number one. And say, you know what? I have absolutely zero control. The only time I have control is when I wake up from that surgery. And that's when you apply the bodybuilding lifestyle. So I went in there. I was pretty relaxed, actually, considering what I was going through. I knew they were going to give me something to make me tired and sleepy and feel good. And then I was going to wake up from the surgery. And that's exactly what happened. Once you wake up, now you have to start applying the bodybuilding lifestyle. And what I mean is that what would you do if you were getting ready for a bodybuilding competition? Well, you have to diet, you have to eat right? You have to take your supplements and/or your anabolics, right? You have to do your workouts, and you have to rest. Those are the most important components. Same thing coming off of surgery. You got to make sure you get your nutrition in so you can recover from the surgery. You have to make sure you take the medications they give you, because that's going to help obviously get you through the first week or two, whether it be the Lasix they were giving me to flush out the extra water, or the medications to make sure my heart was functioning properly, whatever they were giving me, baby aspirin to prevent clots. They were giving me stool samplers, stool softeners, I should say, which I wasn't taking because I was doing my fibrilize, but initially I had to take those before I could even, swallow, large amounts of food. And those are my supplements. And then they want you moving. They want you to get up at some point and start walking because they don't want you to get a clot, number one, and they want your lungs to start to work again and expand. Because when you first get up from heart surgery, you feel like you have COVID. You can't even take a deep breath. Okay, so that's exactly what I did. I got myself on a routine where I was eating 6 times a day, like I did for my bodybuilding show. I was ordering double meals from the horrible hospital food, but it didn't matter. I ate half a meal when it would come, and then 2 hours later I'd eat the other half, and then lunchtime would come. 2 hours after that I'd eat lunch, half my meal, and then I'd eat the other half a meal because I was ordering 2 servings of everything basically. And I would do my 6 meals a day, just like I did for a bodybuilding show. I was walking the hallways 3 times a day because they wanted me to do cardio. Initially I could only walk a couple laps. By the time I was getting out of there, I was doing 15 laps, which was about a half a mile almost, of walking 3 times a day. So I was doing the most that I can do, and I built up to that, obviously, over the course of time. Same thing with, my mental state. I was making sure I was getting naps in between. I was resting when I had to. I was staying focused on what the goal was. So I was asking a lot of questions. What should I be doing? How should I be feeling? Is it okay to push here? Is it okay not to do this? I had sternal precautions. I still have these same sternal precautions. And I can't use my arms in the way I might want to because I can hurt myself. So I can't work out with weights, but I can use my legs. And so what I did was I created a program for myself where I walk every day, at least 20 minutes now that I'm home. I'm doing a little bit of I call the bikini workout, in or out of thigh type workouts with my cable crossover machine to strengthen my glutes and hamstrings. And I'll get news for you. The first day I did it, I was so sore the next day because I lost a lot of muscle in the hospital. Because when you lay around in a hospital bed, that's what happens. And with a metabolism like mine, your body eats itself up a little bit. So now I'm doing a little bit of strength training for my lower body a couple times a week. I never miss a meal. I don't miss a nutritional supplement since I've been home. I take my medications that they gave me, which I'm really not on that many. I'm actually on less than when I went in there, believe it or not. But I do it religiously. Now I'm taking hormone replacement, 50 milligrams of testosterone a week. I'm doing a little BPC 157 from Titan Medical Center to help with the healing process. And I apply it as though I am getting ready for the Mr. Olympia competition in 16 weeks. And that's how I'm treating this whole prep. And because I'm keeping such a strong mental state on what my recovery is, I don't have time to be depressed. A lot of people get depressed post-surgeries because they say it's the heart-lung machine, they say it's who knows, they make up a million excuses. It's because they're depressed because they've been taken out of their element. And a lot of people just give up, they basically get the surgery and they just lay around and they relax like they tell them to do. And they don't really take the recovery serious because they think, well, I can't really go to the gym anyway, and I'm not really that hungry, and so they miss meals, they don't sleep enough, they just don't take the recovery that serious because they think, well, they don't want me to do a lot. And because of that, when 8 weeks passes and the sternal precautions are removed and now you can actually go back to working out again, they're starting at 0 and I'm starting at, a lot higher up on the scale. So I'm in a good mental place because now I'm ready to progress to the next level. I've never stopped working out. I've never stopped eating. Everything is on point with me because I'm doing as much as I can do given the parameters that they laid out for me. That doesn't mean I'm doing risky shit. I'm not going to the gym and doing stuff that they're not letting me do. But I work within the parameters that they gave me and I treat it as though this is the Mr. Olympia. It's that serious. It's that important. And I've done that with every surgery I've had. I've done that with everything in life. Even when I was in prison for 5 months, I treated it like I was getting ready for the Mr. Olympia competition. I did my weight training, 5 days a week. I used to walk a little bit with the guys around the track. I would eat my 6 or 7 meals a day. I would break up my meals even if I had to eat them in my little cubby hole there. I made sure I slept a lot. And when I got home after that, I felt great. I hadn't gained an ounce of fat. I had kept all my muscle, and it was because I was that regimented and I wasn't depressed. I had a couple little episodes maybe where for an hour or two I didn't feel great, but you will keep the mental state is the most important thing. And if you're laser focused, and we know how to do that because that's what we do as bodybuilders. When we get ready for competitions, we can laser focus on that show and not worry about a single thing that's going on in our lives. And if you're a good bodybuilder and a guy who can, or a woman who has gotten in the best shape of their life before, you know what it takes. You know the discipline it takes. Apply any adversity in life as if it's a contest diet, and I promise you will get through the adversity and you will excel on the other side. I remember talking to Branch Warren about when he tore his quad. He said, you know what? I said to myself, he said he felt bad for himself for about a day or two. And then he said, I'm going to do the Arnold Classic in 6 months. And everyone told him, you're out of your mind. A quad tear injury is probably the worst injury you could possibly get. It's the longest rehab of anything. To this day, I don't know how he did it, to be honest with you. And he, not only did he show up at the Arnold, he won the Arnold Classic. That's incredible because Branch has that mindset too. From the minute I start, he's going to do everything he possibly can. He's not going to overdo it. He's going to do everything he possibly can to maximize everything. Diet, supplementation, training, cardio, whatever he's got to do, he's going to do that rehab. He's going to treat it like Mr. Olympia is coming up. And he could treat it like the Arnold Classic because it really was the Arnold Classic in 6 months. And it was an incredible transformation. And you know what? He didn't feel depressed one time during the whole course of it because he was so laser focused on what his goals were. And that's what you guys have to understand about life. I see people who, all the time, who contact me and say, oh, I have the flu, or I have a virus and I can't go to the gym. Okay, that's great for 3 or 4 days. In 2 weeks, when you're sending me your update, how come you're not back at the gym? Well, I don't quite feel up to myself yet. Well, of course not, because you haven't done anything in 2 weeks. Get your ass back to the gym. People use adversity as an excuse to do nothing, and then they go so far in the opposite direction of where they want to go that when they finally want to try to get back to it, they feel helpless. They feel like they look like terrible, and they do, because they have allowed themselves to go too far in the other direction. Don't use adversity as an excuse in life to just give up, because if you do that, you will be depressed. And you will not like the way you look. And your recovery, whether it be from medical issues, injury, or adversity in life, will be much, much worse than you think that it is, because you're making it worse yourself by not aggressively attacking what's going on and addressing it. And once again, a lot of people don't have the tool set to do it because they've never done a contest diet. They've never been through something that extreme. But as bodybuilders, we really have an advantage because we know what it is to go to that place where you're in pain. Nothing is worse than a contest diet. This is a joke what I'm going through compared to a contest diet. Contest diet, you're starving essentially, right? You're going through days where you don't even know how you're going to get through the day. You're so hungry, right? Or you're so miserable because you have to do so much cardio and train that you don't even know how you're going to get through the day. Nothing will compare. The contest prep will always be harder than everything. So when I look back and I say I'm going to apply the contest prep mindset to getting through this adversity, it's going to be way easier for me to get through this adversity than it was contest prep. Even though you're healthy when you're going through contest prep, it's way more taxing on your body because you're trying to strip off every last bit of body fat, which is not a comfortable process. So, in summary, I'm going to summarize my rant now. In life, you're going to encounter adversity. There's no way you won't. It could be sickness, it could be injury, it could be something terrible happening in your life, an episode that that you never thought was going to happen. It could be bankruptcy. It could be just about anything. Breakup of a relationship. If you apply the bodybuilding contest lifestyle to it, you will get through it. You will excel, and I promise you, you will thank me when it's all over. Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle Rant.